Long time ago, the Northern conqueror invaded our land, but the Lord Dragon left his undersea palace, destroyed the army of the occupier, captured his queen and took her to the mountains. From the union of the Lord Dragon and the fairy queen 100 eggs were laid. However, because the fairy queen belonged to fire, she could not live with the dragon, who belonged to water. In order not to destroy each other, the couple agreed to separate, but promised to get back together if it ever became necessary. They decided to share their children. 50 boys followed their father. 50 boys stayed on the land with their mother. The oldest of the sons became the first emperor of our nation.
Hi, my name is Hamamatul Bushra. I live in Kansas. I'm originally from Pakistan and I moved to the US 25 years ago. My paintings are done in acrylic and I would describe my painting style as flat with intricate details in bold, bright and primary colors. The subject of my paintings are usually Pakistani women, but I'm really interested in representing the psychological condition of women in general, the complexities that they have to face, and as an individual, how do they confront it? My painting, Waiting for Pants, is featured in the show. Please come and visit her, learn more about the title and the story behind it. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you so much for your support.
My name is Maggie CAPETTINI and I'm an oil painter. The two paintings I have in the Small Wonders exhibit are part of a series of paintings I did called 31 in January. And during this last winter, being stuck inside, being on lockdown, I really wanted to try and focus on something positive and something productive. So I challenged myself to paint one painting, small painting, every day of January. And while I did not do one painting each day, I did complete 31 paintings during the month, and sometimes I would do 2 in one day, just depending on what was going on. They were all painted with my painting knife on Arch oil paper, and to frame them, I've mounted them to Baltic birch. The paintings are very textural because of my knife painting, and many of them I did from photo resources that I took myself. So I'd go out for hikes in the wintertime during that month of January, take some pictures, but also do some real careful observation of the colors in person to try and really capture that winter scene feeling depending on the weather and the light for each day.
Hi, I'm Matt Darst. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky and moved to Chicago 30 years ago. I love creating, and that love was instilled by my parents. My dad is an oil painter, and my mom was a potter. I started making dioramas as gifts for friends, but learned through the works of Michael Chesko, Abigail Goldman, Jake and Dinos Chapman, that diorama making can be elevated to a fine art. During the pandemic, creating these miniature worlds really provided an opportunity for me to exert some control, albeit on a fictional and smaller universe. I use things like turntables, magnifying glasses, background paintings, and LED lights to make dioramas like Death Goes to the Disco as engaging as possible. I want the viewer to take a look, linger, and then maybe take another look, and then a third look. I use pieces of old model train sets as well as household items. The marquee was made out of a Purell bottle, for example. The title comes from a song by the band called Pulp. The idea of the Grim Reaper maybe taking the night off and visiting a nightclub and the calamity that would ensue from that struck me as oddly funny, and I hope you think so too.
Hi, my name is Julia Feld. I'm a ceramic artist. I live in San Jose, and my main medium that I've been working with for a couple of years now is clay. So the work that you're going to purchase is one-of-the-kind, handmade ceramic sculpture. But actually this time it's started with the paper. I created pen and ink drawings, and that what allowed me to transfer it into a decal paper. So that's why it has, the image that you see has all these perfect details. But where the idea came from and how it started, well, it wasn't my fault. I'm blaming the virus, because we've been stuck in our homes for a couple of months now, and I decided, well, why not to embrace the idea? So I build multiple homes. They all kind of the same, but they all different. They all have different layers of information, and I'm trying to use either texture or rough surfaces in addition to the narrative that kind of emphasize our emotional state or what's actually going on in our heads. And some imagery, they represent resentments, and some of them more pleasant, because we can play with whatever we have and kind of enjoy our time at home. But in this one, I actually put the virus on. So I hope you like my work, and thank you so much.
Greetings. My name is April Gavin, and I'm an artist in Berkeley, California. I am thrilled to have my piece reflect in the Small Wonders exhibition. Reflect is a monotype print using a gel plate to create the image. I mixed black and cyan inks and rolled them onto my plate. I then lay out my composition. The first print I pull is called a relief or outline print. This picks up most of the plate ink. The second print is called a detailed impression. Each print holds a surprise, and I never know what magic will appear on the page. This technique allows me to make plant portraits, prints of my dog Scout, and I also work in other mediums, including trace monotype drawings. Themes in my work include cycles of nature, animal stories, things that harm the world, and things that repair the world. You can visit me on my website and sign up for my newsletter there. I hope you enjoy my work.
I'm Rebecca PEREHUDOFF. I live in Indian Head Park. I have a studio in LaGrange, 637 South LaGrange, appointment only. I normally paint larger paintings with acrylic on canvas, and during COVID-19 I enjoyed making small mosaics out of accumulated hotel cards and customer appreciation cards. Those things stack up. I'd been saving them for years, and it seemed like a really good way to reflect on the change of priorities during COVID-19. Away from maybe thoughtless consumerism. Not that I was ever a big spender, but the end of travel for a while, not seeing family and friends. So it was a really enjoyable way to turn inward and think about how things had changed lately. I'm happy to be in the show Small Wonders. My piece is Red Tree, 8 by 8 inches, and hope everybody enjoys the show.
Hi, I'm Ina Roman. I live outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I enjoy getting outside and painting landscapes. I bring my pochade box with me, and I try to capture the environment and the energy and the beauty that I see. I then take my painting back into the studio, and I reference maybe some photos, maybe some sketches, and I try to remember what it was like when I was there, when I was outside and painting. Maybe it's trees coming together with interesting shapes. Maybe there's clouds in the sky, or sunlight dappling through on branches. Just capturing the moment with colors and brush marks and trying to have that come across in my paintings, and hopefully the viewer can feel the experience that I felt at that moment when I was painting.
Hi, I'm Susan Stevenson, and I am a fiber artist from Grain Valley, Missouri. I am also a full-time educator, professor of interior design at the University of Central Missouri. My book is made out of fabrics that are hand-dyed. It is a collage-based book, hand-dyed fabrics. And the inspiration for doing this book was actually about how colors look on an overcast day, maybe before or after the rain, and the sunlight comes through the clouds, and colors always seem so bright against a gray sky. And so each signature is a fabric signature and decorated on both sides. So there's some beautiful spreads.
Hello, I'm Todd Mafati. I live in San Diego, California, and I'm a retired professor of theater. My specialty was scene design. And for the past 20 years, I've been creating assemblages made using found objects. This particular abstract assemblage is called Church and State, as it has examples of a Gothic window in a picture frame surrounded by tools, kitchen implements, even sewing machine parts. This other one is an example of the creations on mirror frames. This particular one is homage to Louise Nevelson, the New York sculptor of the 20s and 30s. It utilizes chess pieces, doorknobs, and other small mirrors.
Hello, my name is Sharon Schmidt, and I've been involved with the arts for many years, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I've been working with galleries on the East Coast with corporate acquisitions and directly with artists and sculptors. And as we moved here to the Midwest, I've been involved with creating and administering galleries. I'm delighted to be here today with the Small Wonders exhibit. This honorable mention award goes to Wendy Blackwell for the piece Assembling Together. This is colored pencil on panel. It's done so very well. It has a background of negative space that lends itself to lead into the positive elements. You can see the shadowing that leads to all of the cherries, actually. They're arranged so artfully. Each one is distinct and beautiful in itself. The shading and the highlights are wonderful, as well as her framing. It's a complete picture. It works very, very well. This honorable mention award goes to Susan Larsen for her lovely bracelet, Tree Bark Series bracelet. It's with sterling silver, there's agate in it, and petrified wood. What drew me to this is her variety in both the shapes that she has, flanked by these two circular ones, but each one has a unique shape with circles, verticals, and design elements within it. It truly brought a feel of nature, and having a series, this probably is one of many that she will have available. It's a beautiful piece. Honorable mention award to Gregory Steele for his piece, Ph.D. When I saw this, I thought of motion. It has such a great curve appeal. Visually, it has such a wonderful strength in this, counterpoint and counterbalance with these strong circular pieces at the base. Actually, there's 3 of them. But I found this to be very compelling and a good energy to it. It just felt like he wanted to rock with it, but it's made out of steel, so very well done. It has a glaze on it, very natural, organic looking. And this honorable mention to Susan Larsen for her piece Metamorphosis with silver, wood, and opal combined. This is a really strong piece. When you see it, it just has a sense of this large structure and something coming up through, and then having the design detail here and strong structure. And as you see, this form has a relevance of maybe a butterfly, or you just wonder about it. You want to look more and see what it is. And this tiny piece of opal is peeking out, which I find very interesting. Well done. The award of merit goes to Ronald Gonzalez for his work Ballad. It's a wonderful small piece for small wonders. The fact that he utilizes steel, and then he covers all of it with a molded wax formation. I know there's a story here, and I'm sure he's telling it with the use of this guitar upside down and this the figurative motorcycle. So you want to find details within yourself and within the context of this sculpture piece. It really has a relevance, and it probably could merit a ballad of its own, a wonderful small piece, and the Award of Merit. This Award of Merit piece is titled Self 2021 by artist Carol Bloom, and I find it exceptional. It drew me in. It's so powerful. I feel this piece could take over this entire wall. When you look at it closely, it's a drawing of pastel on Yupo paper, which usually Yupo paper commands the artist what to do with it because it's a tricky paper to work with. But here the artist really commanded what they wanted to do on the Yupo paper. There's a strength in the power of this drawing. Her technique is wonderful. You can almost feel the scream or the angst coming from it. It's very well done, and definitely an Award of Merit it was due. Thank you. This Award of Merit goes to artist Kim Laurel for Flora Fodder Study 1. It's a very interesting, quiet collage. The colors are subdued and quiet, just like I would think the flora and fauna feel would be, and Kim brings these pieces of little twigs within it, some printing surfaces that are very interesting, and there's even some sewn details in it. The angles are fascinating. They go beyond the boundaries of the original image, which makes a little interest in both the top part and the textural interest down here. It's very well done. The Award of Merit goes to Hamama Bushra, and it's titled Waiting for Pants. Acrylic on canvas. This piece has such dramatic flair to it. The color intensity is so well balanced. There's bright angles and wonderful angles and bright colors patterning throughout, and it tells such a story. She's obviously waiting for something. She loves plants, she loves cats and pictures and books. She has an interesting angle too. It just is delightful. It's a delightful piece, tells a story, and you just want to know more about it. This Award of Merit goes to Rachel Jones for her piece Regenerate. The very, very inspirational piece. It's a combination of oil and silver leaf. It has a realistic blend with an abstract feel to it too, as if this beautiful, beautiful phase and technique is emerging from the silver leaf, and it's on a very large chunk surface, so it even emboldens the viewer to see this in a complex nature. Very well done. It is inspiring, it is relevant, it implies secrets, it implies so much, and it's just a magnificent technique on this work. The Award of Merit goes to artist Roger Feldman for this piece, Architectural Disparities, American Source, out of wood and mixed media. One has to see the disparities both in the style and the presentation. He has so many angles, and on each angle of this, one sees a context of how people live, perhaps in a log cabin, and then there's also a very complex, detailed plantation type home. So when one sees the angles and we see, it begs the question, how do we live within our homes, within our neighborhoods, within all the outside influences that come to us? And it really is significant, and that it opens the door and leads to these questions. And the Best of Show award goes to Carolina Arianos for The Lost Boys. This is a treasured piece, and it is a treasure chest. So she has utilized this box and kind of detailed it to look like a treasure chest. She has placed figures throughout on the back side of it, and on the other side of it she has an article from the newspaper about lost boys in Mexico that never have been found. They disappeared. So this is a homage to the lost boys done in a beautiful cultural manner. She has utilized each of these interior spaces, decorated thoughtfully, designed thoughtfully, and colorfully to reflect the culture. Using this part as a shrine with flowers, candles that actually were lit. You can see the wax has run down, and photography of the boys. So this symbolizes and epitomizes both an article that just speaks to the world, and it's done in a beautiful, artful manner. It really is a lovely piece, and one is almost inspired to go beyond the piece, find out about this, and take it within your heart. This really is a very, very exciting piece. Thank you to the Fine Line Creative Arts Center for always raising the bar and keeping everything so professional and an avenue for the arts. And thank you to all the artists. There were over 300 artists that applied for this Small Wonders exhibit. It's an amazing exhibit. Keep the art vibrant, keep the arts alive, and come and see this Small Wonders exhibit.